Greetings, everyone. This year I'm doing something a little bit different. Now, normally I would sit in front of my webcam and, well, talk about the predictions I was going to make, though I normally don't do it for the Rumble because, well, I just never have the time. However, this year I decided to do something a little bit different. Well, I have actually gotten an actual camera, so I don't have to use the webcam anymore. I've actually decided to try my hands at maybe not going on camera, but instead just telling you my predictions through a voiceover. So instead I'm recording my voice, and I'm going to plaster that over probably just a poster of the Royal Rumble. Either way, let's get into the matches. The first match, which I'm imagining is probably going to be on the pre-show, they haven't announced it yet, but I'm imagining, is going to be Sheamus versus Chad. I refuse to use the name he has right now, Gable. This one's pretty simple. Sheamus just returned from an injury, and Chad Gable's not doing anything. So, yeah, it's pretty simple. Sheamus is going to win. And it's probably going to be on the pre-show, so who cares? Next one, which I don't know if it's going to be on the pre-show or not, but it seems like one, is the United States Championship match with Andrade defending against Humberto Carrillo. The reason for that is that it has a 1 week, it has very short build-up. Humberto got injured by Andrade, then after Andrade defeated Rey Mysterio in a United States Championship ladder match on the last Raw before the Royal Rumble, Humberto returned and attacked Andrade, which led to this match. And I imagine Andrade is going to retain. That's my official prediction. Next, I think I'll cover Roman Reigns versus King Corbin in a Falls Count Anywhere match. This one's pretty simple. It's hopefully the final match in the feud between Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin. So I'm obviously saying that Roman Reigns is going to win. And considering another prediction regarding Roman Reigns that I'm going to get to, this is what I think. So I think they want Roman to look really, really strong as always. So yeah, Roman's going to win. Then we get into the title matches. First we have the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley versus Lacey Evans. I'm a little torn on this one because I don't know for certain if they're actually going to pull the trigger on the whole Lacey Evans thing, considering the promo she cut on the last SmackDown. But I think ultimately I'm going to stick with my original prediction, which is that Bayley's going to retain, because I just don't see them putting the title on Lacey just yet. I imagine Bayley's probably going to hold it until WrestleMania. And I'm going to talk about who she might be facing when I get to the Women's Rumble. But, yeah. My prediction is Bayley's going to retain. Then we have the second Women's Championship match, the Raw Women's title match, putting Becky Lynch against Asuka. This one is a bit difficult for me, because, my head tells me that, obviously, this is Becky's match to win. The story here is that Becky considers Asuka the one woman she's never been able to defeat. So obviously this match is just to make Becky look as strong as ever. She's held the title since WrestleMania. And this is her big win to get retribution for what happened last year. And then she goes on to have a big challenger at WrestleMania. However, my heart says you love Asuka to pieces. You want her to be at the top of the mountain again. You want her to have that, to hold the women's championship going into WrestleMania, to make up for last year and the year before that. You want Asuka to finally have her title match at Mania, where she actually holds the belt. Well, so what do you listen to? Your heart or your head? I choose my heart here. I'm picking Asuka. Purely because I just wanted to win. Besides, I feel like Becky's title reign has run its course. And what better time for her to lose it than now? And it could be a good story to tell that that Asuka's the one woman that has Becky's number. Becky just can't beat her. And then when we get down the line, when Asuka has been champion for a little while, Becky can come back and finally beat her, possibly at SummerSlam. You know, build a story around it. Show that Asuka really is the one Becky can't defeat. And use that as a way to catapult her up into the top of the women's division. I know people, they want to face out the whole women's division thing after what Becky said and the rumors that they're going to rename the NXT Women's Championship. But you know, I'm speaking as of right now, but whatever. So yeah, I'm picking Asuka. I know it's probably not going to happen. So this is a pure vote with my heart here. Next up, the Universal Championship is on the line as The Fiend defends against Daniel Bryan in a strap match. This one's pretty simple. It's probably going to be a pretty good match. But The Fiend is retaining. I don't see The Fiend losing the title until WrestleMania. Possibly even that, and possibly not even that. Daniel Bryan's already gotten a shot at the title. He's lost, and he's going to lose again. So yeah, The Fiend is retaining. Simple as that. Next, we have the... let's do the Men's Rumble first. We have the Men's Rumble. And I'm going to read off who is officially been announced for the Men's Rumble. There's currently 27 entrants for the Men's Rumble announced, so 3 are unknown. But at the moment, the current number is Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, who is entering at number 1, AJ Styles, Eric Rowan, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Elias, King Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Otis, Tucker, Rusev, Bobby Lashley, Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy, Braun Strowman, Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, Kofi Kingston, Big E, R-Truth, John Morrison, and The Miz. So yeah, we have 3 entrants that have not been announced yet. So, who is going to win this one? Well, I have a little tradition when it comes to predicting Royal Rumbles. And that is the fact that Royal Rumbles are usually pretty hard to predict. Because it's a 30-man match. And because of that, I usually give myself 3 options to choose a Rumble winner. I don't just pick one, I say 3 options, and if either of them win, I got that prediction correct. But it's only 3. And the 3 I have this year is Brock Lesnar, because I know because it would not shock me if WWE is stupid enough to actually have this idiotic idea of Brock Lesnar entering the Rumble despite the fact that he is the WWE champion. He doesn't put the title on the line and he ends up winning it anyway. Because they're stupid. And of course, the fact that Paul Heyman said it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. And I can't remember I remember a time where Paul said that, and it wasn't true. The other one is the most obvious one, the one that everyone's saying is going to win this one, and I am inclined to agree. Roman Reigns. There's been rumors all over the place that Roman Reigns is going to win the Rumble and go on to face The Fiend. And he's just been announced to be a guest on WWE Backstage next week. Conveniently. So, why would he be brought in as a guest if it wasn't for the fact that, maybe he just won the Royal Rumble? So it's convenient, and I can definitely see them doing that. As for my third pick, I'm going for Drew McIntyre. Because out of everyone, I see him as being the most likely person to be the one to eliminate Brock Lesnar and then win the Royal Rumble. He wins the Royal Rumble and becomes the number and challenges Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and wins the championship. So yeah, that's probably the most unlikely out of my three predictions, but hey, that's what I'm going for. It's either they're going to be stupid and have Brock win, they're going to be obvious and have Roman win, or they're going to, do something that I think from what I can tell, a lot of people want, which is for Drew to win. And finally, we have the Women's Royal Rumble. And for this one, only 9 people have been announced so far. Those 9 are Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Sarah Logan, Natalya, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. Now, from that you can tell there's a lot of open spots for people to enter the Women's Rumble, because only 9, so 21 is yet to be announced. Now, of course, it might be premature of me to say this, considering that tonight's event is not the Rumble, it's Worlds Collide. But I highly doubt that I'm going to change my mind about who I think is going to win. I'm going to win this year. My 3 picks, I've basically come down to these 3. First, and only one of them is one that's actually been announced for the Rumble. That one being Charlotte. Now, the reason I'm going for Charlotte is basically, one, because WWE do really like Charlotte, so they would probably want her to at least have one Rumble win under her belt. And 2, and this is purely for from my heart prediction, if Asuka were to win, I would absolutely want Charlotte to win the Rumble, so the 2 of them can have a match at WrestleMania, and Asuka can finally gain some retribution for what happened to her the past 2 years. In case you don't remember, at WrestleMania 34, Asuka, the winner of that year's Women's Rumble, in fact the first one, challenged Charlotte for her SmackDown Women's Championship, and Asuka lost not only that match, but her winning streak. So that ruined that WrestleMania for her, and she went down a slippery slope after that. Then, come the next year she was Asuka was the SmackDown Women's Champion, but 2 weeks before WrestleMania, Charlotte had a match with her for the title on SmackDown, and Charlotte beat her yet again. Charlotte went on to main event WrestleMania in a winner-takes-all triple threat against Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch, while Asuka was relegated to the fucking pre-show. That stings. So yeah, what I want more than anything is for Asuka to win the championship, Charlotte wins the Rumble, the 2 of them have a match at Mania, and Asuka beats her clean as a sheet to gain some retribution for that. That's what I want. But I do have two other options. Another option is another rumor I've heard, which is probably the only one I can see as a feasible winner for the SmackDown side of things, and that is that I meant Sasha Banks wins the Women's Rumble, and then she turns on her best friend, that being Bayley, and the two of them face off at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That's the most likely one I see happening if they were to go for a SmackDown woman to win the Rumble. But otherwise, I'm fairly certain that it's not going to be that. Or no, I should say I don't really have any other option in my head for who could face the SmackDown Women's Champion. And finally, the one that is that people are clinging on to the most because of what happened at Survivor Series, and that is Shayna Baszler. People are thinking that Shayna Baszler is going to win the Rumble and then face off against Becky. That's going to be the match match against Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Now, I'm not saying that isn't a good prospect, but I feel like it's a little bit too early to have Shayna get such an opportunity just moving up from NXT. But I wouldn't be against it, but again, there's two things. One, again, like I said, it's a bit too early. And two, I don't want Becky to be champion going into WrestleMania. I want that to be Asuka. And you can do the Shayna stuff without having Becky as champion. What you could do is easily just have a repeat of what happened last year. Becky enters the Rumble after losing her title, only for Shayna to show up in the match and eliminate her. And I'm fairly confident that Shayna is going to be in the Rumble, considering that she lost her NXT Women's Championship just before the end of the year. She had an opportunity to get a rematch for the title, but was eliminated by Shotzi Blackheart. Then instead of going into a feud with Shotzi Blackheart, she just beat her on the last NXT, which basically confirmed to me that she is main roster bound. So, yeah. I definitely think Shayna's going to be there, and she is one of my picks to win the Rumble, but she's not my number one pick, I would say. But she is up there. So, yeah. Those are my picks. We'll see how that goes come WrestleMania. Come Royal Rumble. Yeah. That's basically it. I'll see you after Sunday.